Whatever you got going on works good. And we're going to start laying down on our backs and have your towel or strap or clothing, whatever you have as your prop, if you're using one. And we'll start on our backs. Actually, I'm going to stay seated and guide you through this part. So we'll start on our backs and we'll bend the knees and place the feet on the floor. So I'll show you real quick how I want you. So we'll bring heads to the floor. If you need a pillow for your head, you can. Or if you're on like furniture or a couch or a bed or anything like that, you can adjust. And we'll heel to the feet so that the heels are at the outer edges of your mat or a little bit wider than hips width distance. And then we'll let the knees come together to touch. And we'll rest the hands on your low belly. And just get comfortable if you want to sway the knees side to side a little bit and kind of take some tension out of the low back. You can do that. You can turn the head side to side. Or any other movements, if you want to squeeze in a full body stretch or anything like that, go ahead. Good. So once you get comfortable, you can close the eyes. Feeling your hands onto your low belly. Just feeling the natural movement of your breath. And starting to relax your facial muscles. Just taking a couple moments to appreciate this day, your breath, and whatever you got going on that you're grateful for today. Just entering into a nice positive space. Just observing everything, taking note of how the body feels today physically. How your mind is feeling today. And as you breathe on your own pace, start to inhale first in through your chest and your rib cage, and then finishing the rest of your inhale in through the low belly. So first inhaling into the chest, then through the low belly, and then as you exhale, taking opposite. As you exhale, you'll first exhale through the low belly, and then the ribs and the chest. Just going to create this pattern of inhaling, working your way from chest to low belly, and exhaling low belly to chest. Just finding a nice little pattern there for yourself at your own pace. And feeling the movement of your breath into your palms. And just listen to the sound of your breath. as you feel the rising and the falling motion of each breath. And you might even decide to hold your breath for a certain amount of time, maybe holding in the inhale once you get to full capacity, or pausing after you exhale all the air. Just allowing everything to flow without any judgment, just letting go of any expectations. And just putting that intention out there into your mind and out into the world of just observing and just finding a nice mindful practice today. We'll take about 3 more rounds of this breath if you're still with us, inhaling in through the chest, then the low belly, then exhaling through the low belly, then the chest. Take a couple more on your own. And return back to your natural breath if you haven't already. And then here, if you want to create an intention or affirmation for the day, go ahead and do that now. Just whatever first thing comes to mind. And then slowly and mindfully start to slowly open your eyes to look up at your ceiling. And go ahead and grab whatever you're using as your strap, whatever that is, if you're using one. And we'll straighten the right leg up to the sky. I'll back up here onto my mat. We'll extend the right leg up to the sky. You can bend your left knee if you want to, or straighten it. And we'll just point and flex the toes a couple times. And circle the ankle in both directions. And wiggle the toes or any movements there. Cool. And if you're using a prop or a towel, go ahead and bring it at the sole of your right foot. And we'll extend that right leg up to the sky. I have a short towel here, but it'll work. You can bend and straighten the knee a couple times to kind of wake up the hamstrings. And feel free to keep the knee a little bit bent if you want to, or straighten it all the way. Totally up to you. And try your best to flex your toes, both your right toes and your left toes. And take some breaths here, just waking up the right hamstrings. Next time you inhale, we'll open your right leg out to your right side. any amount of degrees there. If you want to just come part of the way or whatever feels good. If you want, you can plant your left hand to your left hip. Keep both hips anchored down and breathe. And don't forget to spread the toes the best you can. Next, inhale, bring your right leg back to center. Switch it to the left hand, and then bring it over any amount to your left, either keeping both hips onto the ground, or if you feel comfortable, you can lift your right hip and twist any amount. You can choose how far you want to twist, if at all. Right arm can extend up to the right side if you'd like for support or extra balance, and to open up the right shoulder. Let's take 3 or 4 rounds of breath here on your own. One more round of breath. And then we'll inhale, guide your right leg back to center. And then we'll find a half happy baby. So as if you're taking happy baby, but just on one side. You can use your towel or strap, or if possible, you might reach for the pinky edge side of your right foot. Doesn't matter. And then just drawing that right knee in towards that right armpit. Let's flex the toes. And then the last stretch on this side, if your left knee is not already bent, go ahead and bend your left knee. Place the left foot onto your mat or floor, and then we'll cross the right ankle on top of the left knee for your seated pigeon or figure 4 stretch. You may or may not need the prop there. And find your stretch, either stay here with the left foot on the floor, or you can lift it up, hug it in. And then spread the toes. Find pulling in and pushing away with that right knee. Find the resistance, and then relax your face, relax the shoulders. Take a couple breaths into that outer right hip. Just warming up the hips for our practice. So we'll release the stretch and we'll straighten both legs long onto your mat. And just take a breath or so, pause. Notice how the right hip feels compared to the left. Then we'll match the left side. Go ahead and grab your prop if you're using one. We'll wrap it. Actually, first we'll extend, my bad. We'll extend the left leg up to the sky and then point and flex the toes first. Totally forgot. We'll make sure it's even on both sides. Flex. There's some construction work going on outside, so hopefully it's not too loud. And some lawn work. Well, and then roll the ankle in both directions. Lubricating the joints a little bit. Keeping them nice and healthy. And now we'll take the towel or whatever you have, wrap it around the sole of the foot. Extend your left leg up to the sky. Whatever you want to do with this right leg, totally up to you. Go ahead and bend and straighten your left knee a couple times. Saying good morning to the left hamstrings. Then eventually bringing the leg to straight or kind of straight, and then flex the toes the best you can, both feet, and breathe. Try to relax once you get that stretch going. Keeping your breath going, we'll bring the strap or whatever you have into your left hand, and then gently open it out to the left side, any amount. Try to spread the toes the best you can. Keep both hips down, anchored, and take a couple breaths. Take one more breath in and out. And then we'll transition to our twist. Inhale and come through center. Switch it over. Keep either both hips grounded or lift the left hip. And find your twist, any amount. Left arm can reach out to the side if that feels good. And breathe. Let's take one or two more breaths on your own. And the next breath will come through center. We'll come to our half happy baby. We'll bend the knee, draw it in towards the left armpit. Whatever you want to hold on to, back of the knee or foot, or use your prop. And breathe, just a couple breaths here. What we're doing right now is really good for the trends at the moment. We hold a lot of stress in our hips, so we're just releasing some of that stress stored in there. Whatever you might be worrying about. Maybe visualize it leaving your body if you're into visualizing things like that. And then one more breath. And then last, on this side, we'll bend your right knee if it's not already. Place the foot on the floor. Cross the left ankle over. And find your stretch. You can keep it on the floor or hug it in. Spread the toes as best you can. Nice big breaths for that outer left hip. Just one or two more breaths, depending on your pace. Then we'll release the legs, and we'll bring the legs out straight onto your mat. And we'll bring the hands along your sides. We'll turn the palms down onto the floor. You can roll the shoulders back a little bit. Some of you, you might just, oh, sorry, I can't talk today. You might choose to stack your palms under your hips for this one, or you can keep the hands on the floor. You can kind of adjust as you go, what feels more secure. And we're just gonna do some leg lifts. We're gonna do about maybe 10 to 20, anywhere in there. I'm not counting. Obviously, you can do it at your own pace. And think about pressing your low back into the mat as you do these lifts. And try to slow it down as much as you can, hovering just as far until your low back might start to lift. So just keeping the low back nice and strong, pressing it towards the floor. Just take a couple leg lifts. Try to go with your breath, spreading the toes, squeezing the knees together. Rest whatever you need to. And just do enough so that you feel that warmth start to build into the lower core. I'm feeling it already, so we won't do too many more. Rest whenever you need to. Yeah, do about 1 or 2 more if you're still going, or continue to rest. And once you're finished, you can rest. We'll bring the feet on the floor. And then we'll sway the knees side to side. Just like windshield wipers. And we're gonna slowly make our way up somehow off the floor. I don't know. Hopefully we can do that. Hopefully I can. We're gonna hug the knees in. And you can rock side to side for a little bit if that's feeling good for your low back. Or you can make circles with the knees and just go in circles and massage the back. And eventually we'll change that direction of the rocking to back and forth. We'll do that a couple times. You might decide to roll up and then balance for a moment on the tailbone, or some of us might kick back a little bit. Just take a couple rolls. Awesome. We'll eventually come over to tabletop. Let's see, I'll face this way. You guys can still see me. Cool. I'll take tabletop and go ahead and take some cat-cows on your own. Feel free to hold cat or cow if you want to. Take one more cat-cow stretch. And then we'll come back to neutral. Out of the way. We'll come back to neutral and we'll extend your right leg straight back. Let's see which leg it is. I'm not sure if I'm mirroring you or not, but I'm gonna try to. And then we're gonna lift it up and cross it over behind your left foot. And then we'll gaze over your left shoulder and look back towards your right toenails. We'll take a couple big breaths into the right side of your body. One more. Then we'll inhale, look forward. We'll bring both knees back together. We'll take the other side. We'll extend the left leg out long, lift it up, and then cross it over behind you, behind the right foot. And then we'll gaze your eyes over your right shoulder and looking towards your left toes. Nice big breaths into the left side of your body. One more breath. And then we'll inhale, look forward, bring both knees back together. And then just a really brief child's pose. Bring the knees wide. We'll sink back, find any arm variation you like. Just 2-3 breaths here, not too long. Just wants attention. All right, next breath, we'll slowly come up and we'll find downward dog. All right, here we go. Downward dog, pedal it out. Use whatever props if you need any props here. Spread the fingers wide. Try to get your weight distributed evenly into all 10 fingers. And let the head fall heavy so the neck doesn't have to hold the head up anymore. And listen back into the breath. Once you get settled, it's a good time to come back to the breath. Or if you made a intention or affirmation, you can come back to that here. Awesome. Then from here, we're just going to walk your hands back until you come to a forward fold at the back of your mat. And feel free if you need to stand up to get there or if you need to bend the knees a lot or a little bit. And then fold forward. Find a nice supportive version of this that works for you on this specific day. Maybe this. She is playful. Just think she sees a bug, but it's not. Okay. Cool. Find your forward fold. On your inhale, lift halfway. And then exhale, refold forward. We'll do that 2 more times. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, hold. Inhale, halfway. Then exhale to fold. And then take your time, we're gonna roll one vertebrae at a time all the way up to standing. Head comes up last. And then ending in your Tadasana. So bring the palms forward. Feet are strong. I know my head's cut off, but that's okay. And then we're going to take a big step forward. I'm going to start with my left leg. Doesn't really matter which leg you want to start with. And find your warrior two. So this back foot will point this way, and your front foot will point towards the front of your mat. Then we'll bend in front and straighten the knee a couple times. And think about not only this quad or this leg being strong, think about this leg being strong. By what I like to think about is lifting this kneecap. And when you strengthen this here, then both legs are strong. And imagine just really subtly squeezing both heels towards each other so that both legs are supporting. And then we'll reach the arms out, warrior two. And then you can look forward towards that front middle finger and breathe. Engage the core that we warmed up earlier. Keep our whole bodies nice and supported. And try to relax the shoulders, maybe in your next exhale. We'll move a little bit. On your inhale, we'll reach forward, flip your front palm, reverse your warrior. We'll keep a bend in that front knee, and reverse if you want to reach down or wrap the hand behind your low back. Take a breath in, and then on your exhale, we'll find side angle. You can rest your forearms to thigh. Left arm reaches either straight up or overhead. We'll go back and forth a few times on your own. You can go just by inhale and exhale, or you can take a full breath and hold each one just for a full breath. You can find your pace here, and you can match it, whatever you're doing here on the other side when we get there. So see what feels good. If you want to just flow a little bit faster, or if you want to go slow and hold it a little bit, I'll let you decide that today. Next time you reverse your warrior, we'll stay here and we're going to straighten your front leg. For me, it's my left leg. And we'll just reverse and reach back towards that back foot. Just a nice little side stretch. Yeah, then we'll inhale, come through center. We'll point your toes forward a little bit for more support. Find a nice wide stance. We'll reach the arms out and up to the sky. And then we'll exhale, we'll swan dive forward. Feel free to bend the knees a little bit or a lot. Reach hands to books or blocks or the floor. And let the head relax. Just a couple breaths. Just try to take some pressure here off the neck, your cervical spine. Next time you inhale, we'll lift about halfway, and you can bring hands, fingertips to the floor, or fingertips to if you have a prop or anything. And then inhale, we'll sweep your right arm up to the sky, twist. Take a breath or two. And then exhale, switch. Inhale, other arm reaches up to twist. Feel free to bend the knees a little bit if you need to. Next exhale, reach back forward. And we'll bring both hands to your hips, elongate your spine so that the whole back is nice and straight. And then we'll strongly come all the way up to standing. Then we're going to step to the back of the mat. And we'll switch to the other side. I'm going to face this way so that I can still face you. And I'm going to step my opposite leg forward. For me, it's my right. And find your warrior two. Other side. Adjust as needed. I like to look at my heels and see if they can, if I was to have a piece of chalk and draw a straight line from one heel to the other. Check in with that front knee so the knee isn't going past the toes. You should still be able to see your toes. Then once you're settled, reach the arms out for warrior two. My cat's being silly right now. She's feeling playful. And breathe, maybe look towards that front middle finger. Strength equally between both legs. Awesome. Then we'll move, we'll reach that front arm forward, flip your palm, reverse your warrior. And on your exhale, finding your side angle, forearm rests onto your thigh, other arm either reaches straight up or over alongside your ear. And same with the other side, we'll just go back and forth at whatever pace you took on the other side. A little bit slower, thanks. Feels good to move. I like moving. We'll do just a couple more until it feels somewhat even on both sides. The next time you reverse your warrior, we'll stay here and we'll straighten your front leg and reverse, nice little side body stretch, and to the right side this time. Stretch the psoas a little bit, the hip flexors. And then we're going to come through center and we'll adjust the legs so that you can point your toes any amount forward and adjust your stance. And we'll inhale, sweep the arms out and up. And exhale, we'll swan dive forward. Nice wide-legged forward fold. Support yourself how you need to. And breathe. Notice if your knees lock here. Maybe unlock the knees a little bit. If they're fully locked, sometimes that can hurt a little bit over time. Just keeping them protected. Take one more breath, fold in. And then next, inhale, lift about like halfway to lengthen your spine. Bring your hands onto whatever you have if you need to elevate the hands. One hand will stay planted and we'll reach one arm up to the sky, twist. Doesn't matter which one. Optional this time, if you'd like, you can bend your elbow and wrap the back of your hand behind the low back, add a little shoulder stretch. And if it's not already, reach the arm up to the sky. Inhale, and then exhale, bring it down to meet the other. And then inhale, twist other side. You can bend the elbow, wrap it behind the low back if you like, if you did it on the other side, or skip that. Inhale, we'll reach that other arm up to the sky if it's not already. And then exhale, bring it forward. We'll lengthen your spine, bring your hands to your hips, engage your core. And then nice and strong, come all the way up to standing. And then we'll step to the back of your mat, facing your mat. We'll inhale, sweep the arms out and up to the sky. Then exhale, swan dive forward to forward fold. And then we'll walk the hands forward and come to your downward dog. Adjust this so you can see me good. Go ahead and walk it out. You can always rest whenever you need to. You're doing so good. I can't see you, but I'm sure you're doing awesome. Yourself a pat on the back. Just the fact that you showed up is what's awesome. That's the hardest part. Although I guess it's a little bit easier now that you can just stay home. Then we're going to step your right foot between your hands. You can take different ways to get there. You can lift one leg and send it forward, or you can drop the knees and step it forward however you want to. If possible, if you need, you can bring your towel or something or a pillow under your knee. I think I'm going to do that this time, just for some extra cushion there. And then bring your right foot forward in between your hands. You might add your blocks or books here if you need those. And then we're going to inhale, sweep the arms up to the sky. Take a breath or two here to adjust. Notice if you're coming too deep into it, you can pull out a little bit, or if you need to lean forward a little bit, you can add that. And we'll inhale, bring your hands into prayer position in front of the heart. And then exhale, we'll twist. We'll hook that left elbow either onto the thigh or knee. You can keep the hands down, or you can press them together. Prayer position in front of the chest. And just maybe gently pressing the palms together so that eventually, if not today, one day, the thumbs might come towards your sternum, center of your chest. I like to look up towards this elbow, or you can look down if it hurts the neck. And let's take 3 breaths here now that we're settled. I know it's a little challenging. We're almost there. One more breath. Good. We'll inhale, open up your arms, and we'll swing them up and around, up alongside the ears. Urdhva Hastasana. Then we'll exhale, reach forward, either fingertips come to the floor, or you can find your, whatever you got to bring your hands, and we'll shift back, and we'll straighten this front leg any amount. It doesn't have to be straight. And find your half splits. So counter pose. Awesome. We'll lean forward. And then whatever you want to do here, if you want to step back to hands and knees, or if you want to curl the toes under and step back to downward dog, you can choose which one you want to do there. You can find child's pose or down dog, however you want to get there. And then we're going to set up the other side, however you want to come from. If you want to come from down dog or from hands and knees. Totally doesn't matter, but either way, bring your left foot forward. Maybe help it get there. We'll bring the back knee down. I like to bring mine onto a towel. Check in with where you need to place that front foot so the knee is happy. And when you're ready, we'll come up and swing the arms up to the sky. And breathe here. And next inhale, hands come to prayer position in front of the heart. And then exhale, twist other side. You can keep the elbows straight, or you can press the palms together. Once you find that twist, turn the head wherever it's happy. And we'll take 3 or 4 big breaths here on your own. Not an easy one. One more. And then we'll inhale, open up your arms and swing them up alongside your ears. And then we'll reach forward. And then shift back, straighten that front leg any amount, half splits. Just a counter pose. So we'll lunge back forward. And then step back, however you want to get there, to your downward dog. Cuddle it out and find some stillness there. Maybe allowing the heels to sink towards the floor. Any amount, they don't have to touch the floor. And then we'll come down to hands and knees. And then we'll find just a chaturanga to come down. We'll do a modified chaturanga. We'll shift the heart forward a little bit. Elbows will point towards the back of your room or back of your mat. And then nice and slow as you can, lower all the way down. Feeling that into the triceps. And come down to the ground. We'll peel the heart forward and find your baby cobra. Squeeze the shoulder blades together, point the elbows back the best you can, and just slightly press the tops of the feet into the mat. We'll take 3 breaths. Then we'll come down to rest. We'll reach the arms out to the shape of a T. Palms touch the floor. Take a breath to prepare. And then we'll inhale, lift the heart and the arms, finding kind of like a Superman variation. And then feel that movement of your breath into your stomach. So we're still breathing here. We're not holding the breath. And find a nice Superman variation, strengthening the upper back. I'll give you the option here, optional. You might find your locust variation and lift the legs, maybe even the tops of the knees. And find a nice rocking motion with your breath. We'll take 3 more here, or more, depending on if you want to hold it longer, you can. Try not to crank the back of the neck. Try to keep the back of the neck long. And take 1 more if you wish, or you can hold it longer and then come down to rest. You can make a pillow with your hands. Then we're going to bend the knees and then just sway your feet side to side. One of them drop towards the floor. Another side, just back and forth. 2 and 1, we're loosening up the low back and we're massaging the lower belly and the blood flow for the organs, digestive system. And stay here on your belly as long as you like, or you can stay here if you feel pretty restful laying here, or when you're ready, find child's pose. And if you're in your child's pose, maybe play with some movements. You could sway the hips side to side. You can even press your hands into the floor and help walk your hips closer towards your heels. And while you're here, whether you're on your stomach or if you're in child's pose, on your own, take 3 big breaths in through the nose and then exhale out through the mouth. We're gonna walk our hands over to your right, any amount, find a side body stretch, then rest the head onto something, whether it's the arm or the floor. Breathe into the left side. We'll walk our hands back through center and over to your left. Side body stretch, rest the head. Breathe into the right side. We'll inhale, come back through center. Take any last variations with your arms for child's pose. If you want a different one, you want to reach the arms long, or you can bring them along your sides. Or let's see, what else? You can bring your hands under prayer and bend the elbows. Whatever you'd like to add, if anything. Take another breath in your child's pose. And then take your time, we're going to make our way to our backs. Come up through all fours. To get there, maybe take a sip of water if you need to, and then we'll come onto our backs. There we go. Hope we're feeling okay out there. We're gonna cool it down now. We'll come to our backs, and once you come to your back, we'll find a happy baby pose. This time full happy baby with both feet. You know what to do here if you want to grab your backs of the knees or feet or clothing. You can rock side to side if you'd like to, or you could be just centered. Now my cat's finally sleeping. My cat's ready for Shavasana. I love Happy Baby. Open up the junk drawers of the body. Get all that out of there. It can be nice and light. Have a good week and everything. A good rest of our days. Feel so much better. And then we'll just take a nice neutral twist. We'll release the feet, hug the knees into the chest, reach the arms out to a T, and then let your knees fall to either side. If you need anything under the knees to support for extra height, you can do that. If you have space, you might even cross the legs or straighten the legs. If you want to spice it up a little bit, you can look over to the left if it feels okay for the neck or straight ahead. And breathing in and out through the nose. Next, inhale, bring your head back to neutral, knees back to center, and then over to the other side. A nice couple of breaths. Next, inhale, we'll unwind back to center. And then taking any last movements or poses you want to add before Shavasana. So take your time. I'm going to scoot a little closer to you guys. Feel free to change where you're at if you want to lay on some furniture or on the floor if you want to lay down on your mat, or if you want to sit, you could even sit somewhere maybe against the wall if you don't have space to lay down. Maybe take a sip of water, and we'll set up for Shavasana. I'll guide you through it. So Grab a pillow here to sit on. I'm going to sit up so I can guide you through it. And go ahead and get comfy. There we go. Okay. Once you get comfy, you can close the eyes. Just suggesting there. Here we go. You can close the eyes. Maybe take some last minute little stretches or movements. Get some tension out of the body, maybe shoulders or neck. The church bells are going off. I don't know if you can hear them from where you're at. So we'll close the eyes once you get comfy. And just come back to observing your breath, however it is naturally on this specific day. Just allow it freely to fill your chest, lungs, and low belly. Letting it exit the low belly and then through the chest, like we did in the beginning. Feeling the temperature of your breath that enters the body. And feeling the temperature, if it's the same or different as it exits the body. Relaxing your facial muscles. Scanning the body from head to toe. Whenever realizing if a section of your body is tense or tensing up, you can relax it little by little. And then I invite you here to imagine your mat as a transporting device, and your mat is now transporting you onto a beach. You're laying on your mat still, but you're on the shore of your favorite body of water, if it's maybe our lake or one of the oceans that you've been to or want to go to. Maybe someplace you've been before or an imaginary place. Just imagining your mat on top of just the shore where the water starts to meet the sand. Feeling the mat supporting your body. Maybe imagining the sun touching your skin. You might have a slight breeze as well, depending on what beach you're at. And as your breath moves naturally, without forcing the breath or anything here too much, every time you inhale, imagine the waves from the body of water start to come up to your toes and your feet. And then every time you exhale, the water travels back. And with each inhale, feeling that wave come up to a certain point, maybe up to your shins. Then exhaling, imagining the water flow back out to the ocean or lake, wherever you're at. And with every inhale, imagining the shore and the water coming up a little bit higher, up your legs, and then back. Just feeling that back and forth motion. Eventually your inhale drawing the water up to your hips. Exhaling, imagining the water flowing back down the legs, the feet, back to shore. And just continuing until eventually the water will come all the way up to the crown of the head and back down. And just using this ocean or lake as a visualization for the breath. I'll mind the time here. All you have to do is breathe and imagine that body of water washing over your body, flowing up and down the body with your breath, almost like it's synchronized. And as you breathe here, imagining anything else about this special place that you're in. Maybe there might be birds or seagulls flying overhead. Might be silent, or there might be people that you know there. Maybe imagining what you're wearing and how it feels to have the water move up and down the body, maybe washing away whatever doesn't serve you anymore. Shavasana. Next inhale, take a breath in through your nose, and breathing out through the mouth on your exhale, and just enjoying the last couple moments on your beach, knowing and being aware that you can always come back to this special place anytime. It's your own personal little beach you can travel to only just by closing your eyes whenever you need to go there. And starting to imagine your mat transporting you back into your room of your house, but still keeping the eyes closed, being aware that your body's back where you started. And start to make tiny little movements with fingers and toes, still keeping the eyes closed. Maybe taking other movements, stretches. Eventually bending both knees and rolling over to your favorite side to roll onto. Keeping the eyes closed or halfway closed. And as usual, I invite you to remind yourself of one or a couple things that you're grateful for on this specific day. Sending that gratitude out to the world. And taking your time to slowly press your way up to seated, whether you're sitting on the ground or if you're sitting on a couch or a bed, you can simply sit up and place your feet on the ground or sit crisscross, applesauce, whatever feels good for your back. And sitting tall once you get there. And we'll meet our hands together in prayer position in front of the heart. Breathing as usual, in and out through the nose. And as you breathe here, I ask you silently to yourself, how does it feel to be you in your body right now in this very moment? Thank you again for joining me. It means a lot to me. Namaste.